now, obviously, need to have a little look at this because it's not looking the best, is it? So I thought what I'm going to try and do is, I'm going to try and do it one-handed. You can see the transformation would help if I follow the camera where I'm squirting, wouldn't it? And you can see it's a little bit dusty at the moment, but that is, I mean, that is all it is. It hasn't done a lot of miles, so it's not exactly going to be covered anyway. Just realised that I can't actually talk and spray at the same time. That's pretty much that covered there. And then I just end up wiping it all over. So I'm just making the black bits blacker. All the front panel is all reinforced plastic. All around the top of the air cleaner. Down the sides. Now I'm quite lucky with this one, obviously, because the top of the engine cover is pretty much immaculate anyway. I mean, it only had minimal road dust on it. Beamers are pretty good for under trays and stuff like that, so the engine bays don't actually get sort of really filthy dirty. Sometimes it makes a lot more sense when you've got nice big engine covers like that and they're all covered in dirt, just to pop them off and give them a jet wash, because it just night and day for how much better they end up looking. But this one's really not dirty at all. It's really funny filming and trying to wipe at the same time. You need a GoPro, don't you? That's what you need. You need a GoPro on your head. There we go. I mean, that's pretty much it. That's good for, it's good for a still picture now. Zoom in a little bit. There we are. That's it. The only thing I'm now waiting for, because I've actually run out, is the little BMW emblem that goes in there. I've had to order some of them because I didn't actually realise that I'd run out. So we're going to get onto the inside, have a little look around to see what sort of level of sort. We'll take them out. So actually, I noticed when I bought this car, weirdly, got two sets of mats in it, which is always nice. So it's got a set of mats over the original set of mats, which we love. It's, you know, it's nice to, they're like brand new, the ones underneath, but pattern mats, well, pattern anything in this trade never fit as well as genuine ones today. Let's be honest, it's very rare that you'll get something that fits exactly the same as OE for half the price or quarter of the price. I'm going to go for the original ones. I like the original ones, so we'll sack them pattern ones. Do you know what my biggest problem when the mats aren't filthy dirty is? Because I like jet washing them. When they're not filthy dirty, it almost, especially in the winter time, it almost doesn't make sense jet washing them because they take 2 or 3 days to dry. We'll leave that one for now. I'll come back to that. It's just a matter of, I'm going to be running a hoover around, then scrubbing it with my chemicals to get all of the brown mud stains off. I'm starting to realise that whilst I'm doing these videos, I actually find it quite hard to talk, breathe, stand up and say what I'm doing all at the same time. But we'll dress all the dash, we'll dress all the centre console and everything, get my little artist brush in there and get all of the little bits of dust out down the side of the seats. But it's really not that bad, this car, so it won't take that long. Then we will look into, it'll get MOT'd anyway, we'll go underneath it, make sure there's nothing untoward underneath. I do it with every single car. Usually I do it before, but I'm so busy at the moment that I've been getting everything a little bit higgledy-piggledy. But I'd like to think with 37,000 miles on this car, there'll be nothing underneath it that I need to worry about. But it's let's get the inside of it turned around. These X1s, they've always got dirt, mountains of it under the rear seats, because it usually goes down where, see where the isofix bits, you usually get so much stuff disappear down these holes. I mean, I've had all sorts of rotten stuff behind there, which can end up smelling really bad depending on how bad it is. You can usually tell by what type of people have had the car as well. So I'll tell you what, I'm just going to have a quick look behind this one and see how bad it is, just to make sure there's no sort of horrific grime behind there. So what usually, so these little covers that cover up the Isofix bars, they're always missing. They're not missing on this one, but they're always missing. And usually you can find them when you take the rear seat out. They've usually been stuffed through the holes and they fall behind, and people think you can't get the rear seats out. As long as you push the seatbelt buckles down into the seats like that, and oh, I'm going to make my floor dirty now. I've just hoovered. Like that and like that, they will eventually come up, and you can put them forward. And you know what, this one's actually not. Oh, hey, 20p bonus. I'll have that. There you go. This one's really not that bad. I'm going to hoover behind it anyway. I'll quickly show you. It's really not that bad at all. Look. A little bit of a spillage down there. Just a few crumbs and a few hairs and a bonus 20p. So if you ever buy an X1 or a 3 Series that has got these Isofix covers and the covers are missing, take the rear seat out to see if the covers are hiding behind, because they normally are. I've just got to quickly touch on this subject here, because I always get asked by a lot of people why German cars are so expensive to other brands. Now obviously the answer to that question is quite complicated and quite drawn out, so I'm not going to answer that now. It's at the end of the day different people's opinions. The one thing that I just want to say about now is the carpet, the level of carpet, the quality in German cars compared to other cars is just so much more superior to other cars. I mean, I don't want to name and shame or whatever, but like if this was a Ford, no matter how many times you seem to hoover Ford carpets out, the carpet is so cheap and just such a lower quality that you just keep hoovering and hoovering and hoovering. No matter how many times you hoover it forwards and backwards, the dirt just keeps reappearing. You know, it's almost like every single Ford on the planet has had sand dumped in it. It just keeps reappearing. But like BMWs, and just if I get my hoover. Too good at all. See, well, I was about to say, look at the difference. I mean, it's just a quick hoover, yeah, right, that's going to go under the mat, but it's just brand new again. It's just oh, Christmas tree in here. Blimey. I haven't emptied this for ages. Poor old filter looks a bit poorly. Oh look, that was £1 and a 5p and a 5p, £1 tip. Why didn't you just hoover all that up? So what just hoovered up? Well, I don't know. This car's just a car that keeps on giving. Post has just come. Yeah, oh, look at them, nice. Is it weird to get excited about some stickers? Oh, I'm going to get them on. Let's see how much better they're going to look. Oh, look at it. Oh no, do you know what? Oh, do you know what? I'm so excited to get the... Oh, so excited to get the centre caps back in. I haven't lined the M up with the... Oh, that's going to kill me. Oh man, they're never going to turn. Oh God, I can't take the wheels off just for that. Do you know what? I didn't take the wheels off. I've just left it as it is, which I'm a bit upset about. So all of you guys out there that have got OCD, that now, me included, now that doesn't line up with that, I'm furious about that. Yeah, that one's not. Oh, it's not the best either. The car outside's now done, pretty much. Done the windows, dressed the interior, put the number plates on. Just because I was boring myself, if I'm honest with you, documenting everyone. I thought you guys must be getting well bored. But now it is all done. And it looks lovely. Well, I think it looks lovely. It pretty much looks brand new in here. Sorry about the glare from the sun. I think we should go for a drive in it. Let's go for a drive. Oh. Sun's out, the road is dry, so it won't get dirty, which is marvellous. Go this way. Here we are in the X1. Do you know what? You think you clean the windows and then the sun comes out and it gets to a certain angle and they are not clean at all. Cleanish. Let me start with why I love these X1s. I love BMWs. I really love BMWs. I think they're awesome cars. But the X1, see, I liked, so the old 3 Series, like 2010, so for people that, so that's an E91, like 2010, around about that sort of mark. That 3 Series estate car, that was a good car. That drove nice, looked nice. It was just a good all-around car, but a lot of people these days prefer the look and the seating position of SUVs. The problem with some SUVs, and people don't realise this when they come, I mean, I get phone calls from people that want an SUV and they'll come and look at a certain one, whether it is something I've got in stock, it could be a BMX3, it could be a Hyundai Santa Fe, something like that. They all like the idea of an SUV, and I can understand why. You know, it's nice being a little bit higher up seating position, it's easier to get in and out of. But what a lot of people don't think about, especially, how can I say this? The vertically challenged people, there's one thing that they don't really think about a higher up car, and that's getting in and out of it. I mean, getting in and in of it isn't too bad. Getting in isn't the worst thing. It's getting out that's a problem, especially if it's got an M Sport with bucketed seats. When you get out, the slightly shorter individual, depending on what car it is, they hit the backs of their calves on the sill when they get out. And no one realises that, and they think, well, it's really nice being high up. They don't want to do that every time they get in and out of a car. Obviously, it depends on the car, depends on whether it's got side steps that you can stand on it. But there's a lot of things that people don't think about that they didn't realise that they needed to think about. But the reason why I love these cars is I love the E91, I love the whole E90 series. But the fact that this looks like an SUV, drives exactly like a car, because it is a car, you know, it runs on an E91 running gear, everything's the same, chassis, wheelbase, gearbox, everything, it's all the same. Obviously they didn't make a four-wheel drive 3 Series estate then. If I had the choice, I like the way a rear-wheel drive car drives, and for 99% of the time I would have an S-Drive. However, the last 3 X1s I've sold, all of which were X-Drives, every one of the buyers bought them, loads of different reasons, but they wanted the four-wheel drive. And they just said they feel safer on the road in the frosty conditions, which you can completely understand, I get that. But it's people didn't not buy, well, they might have done, unbeknown to me, but I don't feel like people didn't buy 3 Series because they were rear-wheel drive. So why would you not buy an X1 because it's rear-wheel drive? I don't know. I prefer the S-Drive unless it's snowing, in which case anyone on here that is watching this will know, anyone that has had a rear-wheel drive BMW, when it snows, you might as well just leave it on the drive and get out and walk, because they're absolutely useless in the snow. When I worked back at the dealership, all the sales managers that were driving around in rear-wheel drive Mercs when it snowed, they ended up driving around in smart cars, because the little smart cars are brilliant in the snow, even though they're rear-wheel drive. Must be something to do with a tiny little wheelbase on them 4.2 smart cars, but they were brilliant in the snow. So that's the only real reason why, to me, an X-Drive is, but you know, there's a lot more to go wrong. You've got four-wheel drive system, the transfer box, for everything that you haven't got on an S-Drive, a rear-wheel drive car. But obviously, it's each to their own. This one's an X-Drive, and I love everything about this car. It's hold on, just got to get around this bike. But it's this little 2-litre engine in these cars. It's just effortless, really. It's such a nice car to drive. See, it doesn't really get any firmer than this. This is an M Sport with the 19-inch wheels on it, and it's got run flats. A lot of people take the run flats off because they are firm. There's no doubt about that. And do you know what? Being honest, they do drive better without run flats on them. If they've got run flats, you wouldn't take them off until they were bald, because they're run flats at the end of the day. You know, you get a puncher, within reason, unless it's a blowout, it will get you a lot further than what a non-run flat will. So you might as well leave them on. See, whoever had this car before, they haven't driven it hard. When you sort of pull away, it's used to pulling away slowly. I know that sounds silly, but at the end of the day, they've all got intelligent ECUs on these cars, and I'm actually doing 55 at the moment. The learner driver doesn't want to get out of the way. Must be now going through that, right, get up to 70 mile an hour, get right up to 70 mile an hour. I love that part of my driving lessons. Up to 70, up to 70. Well, if that's what his instructor's saying, he ain't doing very well, because we're still at 55. Come on, get out of the way. Gotta get up to 70. Wait, it's gone. So we're doing 58 to the gallon at the moment, sitting at 70 mile an hour in a car that will do 0 to 60 in under 7 seconds. And look, this awesome. I really love this car. It's a really cool car. I mean, the X1s, yeah, they have drawbacks over like a 3 Series estate. The boot isn't as big. It's high, still got the height, but it isn't as big because of the sort of the more bulbous body. It isn't as long. So wheelbase is the same, but the body isn't as long. Parts and everything, if like they're the same price, they're the same parts. So it's, yeah, an X1s are slightly more money because they're slightly more desirable. But it's, as far as a family car goes, see, the X3, the next level up from this, is quite a big car. It drives like a 4-wheel drive. You know, you're in an X3. I mean, on the outside, they're slightly bigger. They're not still huge. There's a big jump between an X3 and an X5. I don't know if these would be big enough to have with prams and stuff in the boot, because the boot isn't that massive. But if you've got sort of a family with kids between the age of 7 and sort of above, they're perfect. They're cool cars, cool family cars. And I mean, I've got kids between 7 and 11. Maybe I should keep it. I'd love to keep this car. Shut that. I'm going to shut that a little bit. Here's me giving it a big and saying how cool the sunroof is, and I've just blocked it out. So there's certain gripes, certain things that some people might not like about X1s. Well, BMs in general, really. But the suspension especially on the M Sport, suspension is firm, as I've said. Who wants to drive around in a blancmange and get seasick? You know, not me. Steering is quite hard. When I say hard, it's only because it gives a bit more feedback through the steering. If you want to buy something with really light steering, then buy a Nissan Qashqai or something like that, which they're all right cars. I struggle to find negatives about them, really. You know, they don't cost any more money to keep on the road than anything else. If you take a BM to a main dealer, yeah, they're like £130 plus VAT an hour. If you buy a Toyota, admittedly, it will never go wrong, so you only need to get oil changes and stuff, but they're still expensive. It all depends on who you take them to maintain them. There is plenty of really, really good BMW independent specialists out there that will look after your Beamer just as well as a main dealer will, if not better. You know, they're not all productivity driven. Your car borderline could get better care at an independent specialist. But it's if you're sort of sitting at home wondering about getting a BMW or something in that sort of category, go and road test some. Well, this is almost like a perfect example of how a nice car just makes you feel better. It's a nice day, sun's out, roads are dry, car's clean, which makes there's a big old hole there. Car's clean, which makes a massive difference, or it does to me anyway. And it's just, I ain't even going anywhere. I'm just driving and talking to no one, or this channel, I don't mean for this channel to be a car review channel. It won't. I'm not reviewing cars. I'm just going to review my cars, the ones that I've got, and do other stuff along the way. But it's just it just shows how a nice car makes you feel. You know, I know this isn't a massively expensive car, but I mean, it is to me. You know, it's I'd love to be able to drive this every day. It's admittedly I don't know if I'd want my kids getting in the back of it and dropping crisps all over the floor all the time, but you know, it's a lovely car. I'll get back now, take the pictures of it, and get it advertised and see if anyone. I've actually already had someone inquire about it. I've put a description on with no pictures just yesterday. I've already had someone inquire about it, so I can imagine when the pictures go up and it looks all shiny, I hope that someone will quite happily phone up about it and get all excited about it. And I hope whoever phones up about this car, I hope they know what it is rather than someone just looking for an X1. Because in reality, you could go and you could save yourself thousands by. So they do like the 2-litre diesel. They do an 18D, a 20D, a 23D, which are pretty rare, and the 25D, which is the highest output one they make. All 2-litre diesels. But you could buy one with this spec if you could find one with an 18D and save yourself like a couple of grand. But it won't be as fast. And I don't know. I prefer this one. Just a quick update on the garage, on my little place that I'm taking on. So I've had a Sparky there a couple of days ago, and he's looked at all the wiring, put a load of RCDs and stuff. He's making sure it's all safe. He's ripped all the wires off that gable end because the front fascia and everything is all getting replaced actually tomorrow, so we might go there tomorrow and see how they're getting on. I've got a guy there sorting all the render out, taking all the bad render out, filling it all, getting ready to paint the place. The windows have been ordered, the doors have been ordered, so there's quite a lot going on in the background, but there's nothing that I can do there at the moment. So that's a little bit of an insight of what's going on now. I will keep you updated. We'll go there tomorrow. Don't know what in, but we'll go there tomorrow and have a look, see how it's getting on, and I'll put that in the next video. But if I wonder what that was then, it's a fuel light. By all means, please subscribe so I can see what's going on. Leave a comment, let me know what I'm doing right, what I'm doing well, and what I'm doing badly. If it's all bad, don't be too horrible. Do you know what I mean? It's all right. But let me know. It's a bit of a journey for me, and I'm loving it. So I'll see you soon. Oh, there's a big old hole there. Ooh. Oh! I think it left me weak. Oh. So the X1, so the white X1 went up for sale, and it was probably up for sale for about 6 days, I reckon, before I got any interest in it. Didn't get a single phone call for about 6 days. And then I got 3 phone calls in one day on that car. The first guy who phoned up came and viewed it, and I'll let you know what happened in a bit. But he bought it. The first person that came and viewed it bought it. The other 2 who phoned up afterwards obviously said if he doesn't buy it, then get back to them. And then I sold on the advert, took a deposit on the car, and then the next day I had another 3 people phone up about that car. So it goes from 6 days and nothing to 2 days and 6 people. I don't know. I'm not going to complain about it. It's exactly what I'm in the business for. It was a stunning car, that was, and the guy that bought it absolutely over the moon with it. So it went really well. I appreciate everyone that's watched, everyone that has commented, and I appreciate everyone. So thank you for watching it. I'll try and keep it a bit shorter, but until the next one, I'll see you soon. Oh, it's got corner lights as well. There it goes. I love that car. So there it goes, guys. That's the X1 gone. And you know what? This is what is part exchanged. That lovely guy has just bought a 2014 X1 X25D off me, and he had a 2013 X25D already, but he wanted the pearl white one with the real high spec that it was. This has done 87, that had done 37. That was a good car, and he loved it, and he was a lovely guy, and hopefully when he finishes with it in another 3 or 4 years, then I'll get it back off him. Thanks a lot, guys. I'll speak to you soon.